Welcome back. Well, let's take you back to this briefing now, where the Gauteng Police Commissioner General Elias Mawela is currently hosting a briefing on the province's fourth quarter crime statistics for the 2022-23 financial year.
As to, you want us to start with the crime stats and do the update, or we just start with the update and do the crime stats?
Yeah, I think let's do the stats and then we'll do the updates. The important thing that maybe we need to try and do is that we have a follow through on many of the things that has been on the attention and focus of the community. I think the update is all about the situation in El Dorado, West Berry, and all the other cases, so that there's a continuous engagement and focus. But we don't seem to be episodic, and then other things. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Greetings to you once more, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, management of the South African Police Service in Gauteng, stakeholders present today, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The overall crime picture which will be presented here today for the period 1 January to the 31st March 2023 is showing a ray of hope. We might not have reduced the overall crime, however, we are pleased with the reduction in some of the other serious crimes, which indicate that we are slowly moving towards the desired outcome of reducing overall crime in the province. This is a welcome solace, and most importantly, it is indicative of Gauteng's perseverance in combating crime. My management and I are taking the small gains that are presented by the statistics as recorded for the quarter under review, because each win counts. We will never be deterred by anything from fulfilling our constitutional mandate. We are forging ahead and striving to make this province safe and secure for all its inhabitants. Our crime combating strategies, including our weekly crime combating campaign, Operation Okai Molao, have been serving us well. Our intensified police visibility, deployments at strategic areas, as well as the crime hotspot, has ensured that we limit the opportunity of crime to occur. We are walking the streets of Gauteng from the most affluent suburbs to the narrow passages of our many mushrooming informal settlement. We have entrenched ourselves into the communities that we serve. Our street is in Bizo are bringing us closer to the public. We get to see firsthand the crime prevention inhibitors that have been created by the environmental design of most informal settlements. To circumvent the challenge of visibility, we have embraced technology in this province. The utilization of drones has afforded us an opportunity to effectively prevent crime in areas where the provincial office operates. These drones have become our eyes in the sky at places where our natural eyes will never reach, therefore making policing much more easier for the men and the women in uniform on the ground. We are proud to have 13 qualified drone pilots, our own SABC members. 9 more members will be starting soon with the second round of training. We will continue to increase this capacity so that eventually we are able to have the capacity at district level. We will forever be grateful to our private and social partners for the realization of this great capability and for their continued support. Honorable members, service delivery protests remain the core diversion of our resources. I will continue referring to January until March as a season of discontent, and the chairperson have also alluded on that one. It is during this time of the year that we usually experience more protest and unrest. This, together with low and medium risk major events that we must police, are a cause of diversion of our much needed resources for crime combating. Even today, we have our hands full. Here in Deep Kloof, you know, the hostel residents, they've blocked the main road there. It's just chaotic. And not only that, across the province, we have so many protest actions. For the last quarter of 2022-2023, we had a total of 630 crowd-related incidents that we have responded and attended to, of which 475 incidents were peaceful-related protests and 155 were unrest-related incidents. We also had 1,554 low and 155 medium-risk events. These are the events organized by different organizations, people, and so forth. And we are obliged by the SASRIA, by the law, that we need to also put some deployments around those ones. Honorable Chairperson and members, coming to the 17 community-reported serious crimes, let me provide an overview of how have we performed as a province in terms of the 17 community-reported serious crimes. Gauteng has contributed 27.2% to the national overall crime statistics for the fourth quarter of 2022-2023. It is worth noting that we have observed over the 5-year period that this contribution is slightly reducing, as in 2019 our contribution was 28.2%, which reflects a decrease by 1.0% or 10,750 counts over the past 5 years. Our contribution to the national figure will always remain high. This is taking into consideration the unique characteristics and profile of the province. Understandably so, because according to the Stats SA mid-year population estimates, Gauteng still continue to be the most populated province, largest population size. We are still likely to experience the largest inflow of the migrants, both domestic and international, mainly due to the province's economic strength that influence its attractiveness to the migrants. We look at our province's largest population size in hindsight of the complex dynamics attributed to the challenges in respect to our socio-economic factors. However, we have never been deterred from fulfilling our constitutional mandate. We will always strive to make the province safe and secure for all its inhabitants. Honorable members, although our overall crime increased by 2,129 counts, translating to 2.0% increase as compared to the same time in 2021-2022. We are encouraged by the fact that when we reflect on the provincial performance, taking into consideration the number of offenses we have reduced out of the 17 community-reported serious crimes, we were the only province which were able to reduce 8 offenses out of the 17 community-reported serious crimes. A small feat, but a great sign that we are in the right path with implementation of our crime combating strategies. Like I've said, every win counts. Coming to the issue of the contact crime, this category of crime remain major contributor to our crime statistics. However, the category has reflected a reduction in sexual offenses, assault with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm, as well as robbery with aggravating circumstances. Honorable Chairperson and members, you will recall, Gauteng, we've been struggling to deal with robbery aggravating, but we have seen that the last quarter when we presented, there was also a slight decrease. Even this quarter, we have managed to suppress robbery aggravating, of which Gauteng is known to be a problem with. Although we have made a slight reduction on the category of robbery with aggravating circumstances, it is still concerning in that people are easily robbed through the online shopping scams and e-hailing services. The fourth industrial revolution has brought about an insight on the e-commerce, and this in turn has also created a platform for criminals to target unsuspecting victims, especially those using the e-hailing services and selling or buying products on social media. particularly the Facebook market. The unsuspecting buyers or sellers are led to a location where, after they are hijacked, robbed by a group of suspects, or in some incidents, the victim will make use of the e-hailing transport whereby they will be robbed. In this instance, both the e-hailing driver and the commuters are targets. Most of these incidents are reported in the El Dorado Park, Rietgat, Loate, Winterveld, Amaskral areas. In Winterveld, they have a name, they call it the Scania. Yeah, Tanai. Scania, they call it that. Scanai. They call it Scanai, whereby people, they advertise certain goods on the Facebook, and then they give you direction, let us meet at this area and so forth. When you arrive there, you won't get anything. They are going to rob you and your product. And the sad part is that we also have people traveling from KwaZulu-Natal, from Mpumalanga, from Limpopo, coming to buy products in Winterveld. TVs, motor vehicles, CDs, and so forth. And all these people become the victims of crime. We urge the public to always be vigilant and smart when using this platform. During the analysis of causative factors for the murders, it was revealed that vigilantism, which is called the mob justice, arguments and misunderstanding, road rage and provocation, and robbery were the three top causative factors for murder in the province. Honorable members, it is worrying to see that some people have resorted to taking the law into their own hands, resulting in what we describe as vigilantism. Community retaliation, another phenomenon which still continue to have a negative impact. The murder rate in the province is the phenomenon of the multiple murders, whereby in one incident, 2 or more people are killed. Just to mention 2 separate incidents which negatively affected the murder rate. We had 6 people murdered in one incident in Deep Kloof on the 18th of January 2023. The victims were shot at by an assailant in a combi that was passing next to the dumping site. There were 11 people and 6 of those succumbed to their gunshot wounds, while 5 survived their injuries. There was another incident in Alberton where 5 victims were killed due to vigilantism. The community accused the victims of raining a terror of crime against the residents in the area. When we look at the instrument used during the commission of crime, I'm referring to the murder. Firearms is still reflected as the weapon commonly used to commit murder, followed by the utilization of the knives and sharp objects. Out of these figures, we have 6 SAPS members that have been killed during the quarter under review. 5 of them were off duty and 1 on duty. This has serious impact considering the ratio of police versus the community they serve. As the province, we have long decided that for us to successfully reduce the murder rate, we have to deal decisively with the proliferation of illegal firearms and to aggressively be on the search for the dangerous weapon. We have managed to seize 1,663 firearms and 44,142 rounds of ammunition, as well as 1,124 dangerous weapons through our targeted and crime intelligence-led operations, vehicle checkpoints and stop and searches. Whereas we have arrested 862 people for possession of unlicensed firearms. Surely, Honorable Chairperson and members, if we want to have a serious impact in the fight against these murders, we need to remove the weapons in the wrong hands. And we believe that if we intensify those operations to remove the weapons, ultimately we'll be able to control the murder rate in the province. When we break down the subcategory of sexual offenses, for the period under review, Honorable Chairperson and members, we saw a reduction of rape, sexual assault and contact sexual offenses, with only the exception of attempted sexual offenses. The reduction in sexual offenses may be attributed to family violence, child protection, and sexual offenses, and social crime prevention supported by our corporate communication and liaison, whereby they were conducting a focused crime awareness campaign at schools, tertiary institutions, churches, taxi ranks, among other places, where learners, students, and the public are encouraged to report gender-based violence, bullying, cyberbullying, as well as any crimes perpetrated towards our communities. These campaigns will continue to be intensified in an effort to reach out to all communities affected by the scourge of sexual offenses. Robbery with aggravating circumstances has also declined, like I've already said, Honorable Chairperson. This is a subcategory of crime that we refer to as the crimes of fear to its violent nature, under the umbrella of the trio crimes, the carjacking, robbery at non-residential premises, reduced, with the exception of robbery at residential premises. So it means our trio crimes, we have managed to reduce the two categories, the carjacking and also the robbery business. The arrests for the quarter under review for the category of counter crimes are 15,920, of which 526 suspects were arrested for murder. Attempted murder, we've arrested 337. For sexual offenses, 1,038, of which 694 were for rape. For assault GPH, we have arrested 6,420. For common assault, we've arrested 5,570. Robbery aggravating circumstances, we have arrested 866. Common robbery, we have arrested 1,163. Contact-related crimes, we were able to decrease the crime category, which comprises of assault, arson, and malicious damage to property. For the period under review, we were able to arrest 2,601, of which 19 were arrested for arson and 2,582 were arrested for malicious injury to property. Coming to the other serious crimes, Honorable Chairperson and members, this category include all theft not mentioned elsewhere. Excuse me. I have mentioned previously that these are the kind of crimes that are not easily policed. They remain a second major contributor after the contact crimes to the overall crime volumes. However, the category has recorded an increase of 19,029 suspects arrested for the various offenses for the quarter under review. Coming to the property-related crimes, Honorable Chairperson and members, the category of property-related crimes has decreased. Burglary at residential premises, theft of motor vehicles or motorcycle, theft out of or from motor vehicles have all decreased. Only burglary at business premises and stock theft have increased. We were able to recover 993 stolen hijacked vehicles, and livestock we have managed to recover 124. While we arrested 1,603 people for property-related offenses and 212 people for offenses related to second-hand goods during this quarter under review. Coming to the crimes depending on police action, Honorable Chairperson and members, the category of crime depending on police for detection has recorded an increase in 3 out of the 4 offenses. Illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, it has increased. It's a good sign because we recovered more firearms. Drug-related crimes and sexual offenses detected as a result of police action have all increased, while driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs has recorded a significant decrease. This is the only category of crime where we are happy to see an increase, as that translates to our visibility on the ground, as well as disruptive operation in search of firearms, drugs, stolen essential infrastructure, among the other things. We were able to recover over 130 million milliliters of alcohol. This alcohol was taken from all those illegal liquor outlets. We have closed a total of 1,192 illegal liquor outlets and arrested 3,411 people for liquor-related offenses. We were also able to recover 45 million grams of various kinds of stolen cables. Honorable Chairperson, you have also indicated the challenge of the damage to our critical infrastructure, critical essential infrastructure. So we have also made some good inroads there. People were arrested and property also recovered. I'm always asked what happened to the people that we arrest, especially when it comes to Operation Okaimola. Well, we all know that the wheels of justice grind slowly. But as a law enforcement, we are confident of our criminal justice system. We know that eventually the arrested suspects will be convicted. For the period under review, our detectives had 188 cases that were finalized before court, and 159 accused have been sentenced to a combined 82 life imprisonment terms and an additional of 2,498 years in prison. So there is an inroad. We arrest people, they are taken to court, and they are convicted, and people serve a long time in jail. This is happening more so to the victims of crime that got to find closure in knowing that those that violated them, stole from them, and had them are incarcerated. It will further serve as a deterrent to those who wish to make criminality their career of choice. When I conclude, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members, our arm of law has been strengthened by Gauteng new 6,000 crime prevention wardens. With their high-powered vehicles, they are a most welcome force multiplier, which has hit the ground running. We are also now closer to the actualization of the Gauteng Integrated Operational Command Center, which will mobilize the whole of government and our private sector to sit together, operate from one space, and address the root causes of crime and respond together to the issues of crime. Honorable Chairperson, with your permission, if I can now hand over to Brigadier Chakalani to present the comprehensive crime picture of the fourth quarter of 2022-2023 financial year. I thank you. Brick, continue.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As PC has indicated, I'll be taking you through Gauteng crime overview, which is covering the period of fourth quarter of the financial year 2022-2023, which is March 2022-23 until January to March 2022-2023. Honorable Chair, as the norm, we normally start with what we refer to crime overview before taking you through or unpacking specific type of crime. So with our crime overview for quarter under review, which is quarter 4, starting with our contact crime, we can see that we had some reduction under the category, which is from our sexual offenses. We reduced by 6,591 counts lesser that we have reported compared to the previous period. The other reduction were from our assault with intent to inflict grievous bodily harm, a reduction of 2.6%, 249 counts lesser, as well as our robberies with aggravating circumstances, a reduction of 0.1%, 10 counts lesser. In respect to our increases, unfortunately, with regards to our murder, 1,556, people were murdered in Gauteng during the period under review, which reflected an increase of 153, 10.9% increase. The other increases were from our attempted murder, an increase of 6.9%. Common assault also went up by 9.7%. Common robbery, an increase of 2.7%. As a result, our contact crime as a category went up by 2.5%, 1,086 counts more. When we go further, still under our contact crime, however, covering the breakdown of our sexual offenses, still accounted for under contact crime, but zooming into our rape, sexual assault, attempted sexual offenses, as well as contact sexual offenses, there was a reduction under this subcategory, with the exception of attempted sexual offenses increasing by 28.1%, whereas our rape reduced by 4.4%, sexual assault a reduction of 15.9%, contact sexual offenses reduced by 42.6%. Still on our contact crime, however, looking at the robbery aggravated, covering those 6 offenses, starting with our carjacking reduced by 12.6%, robberies at residential premises increased by 2.6%, robbery at non-residential premises, also business premises, there's a reduction of 6.3%. The first 3 offenses, this is what we call them the trio crime because they fall under the umbrella of trio crime. There's a reduction there of 6.5% because we have observed the reduction from carjacking as well as robberies at non-residential premises. Still to conclude our robbery aggravated, our CITs, robberies at cash in transit, there's an increase of 22.75 counts more. We did not have any incident of bank robbery during the period under review. Truck carjacking reduced by 0.4, just a reduction of 1 count. Moving over to our contact-related crime, covering the 2 offenses, which is arson as well as malicious damage to property. We have reported a reduction for this category as a result of the 2 offenses having a reduction, which is arson reducing by 10.2%, malicious damage to property a reduction of 6.3%. As a result, the category went down by 6.4%, 481 counts less. Moving over to our property-related. As a category, it has reduced by 0.8, 183 counts lesser, with only 2 offenses under the category having an increase, which is burglaries at non-residential premises, an increase of 20.2%, 608 counts more, as well as our stock theft went up by 14%, 31 counts. We also have some reduction there under the category, which is burglaries at residential premises. We reduced there by 1.5, 134 counts less. Theft of motor vehicle, any reduction of 11.1, 553 counts less. In terms of our theft of out of motor vehicle, there was also a reduction of 2.3, 135 counts lesser that was reported. In terms of our other serious crime as a category, the category had increased by 5.6, 1,707 counts more. With that one, the 3 offenses reported under the category have increased, with all theft not mentioned were also known as theft general. It has increased by 1.7. Commercial crime also went up by 7.7. Shoplifting also increased by 2.3. To conclude the overview there, also looking at the other overall crime, which we refer to as the 17 community reported, covering all those 4 categories, there's an increase of 2%, 2,129 counts more. When you look at the crime detected as the results of police action, this is the category whereby we want to see an increase as opposed to the first one of 17 community where we want to see a reduction. For this category, there was a reduction of 10.3. This is mainly due to the category of driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs having a reduction of 47.3. Whereas the other 3 offenses covered under this category, there was an increase. The increases were from our illegal possession of firearm and ammunition by 4.9, 50 counts more. Drug-related crime also went up by 8.2%, 760 counts more, 69 counts more. In terms of our sexual offenses detected as a result of police action, there was also an increase of 13.1%, 56 counts more. To conclude the overview, the kidnapping also went up by 17.1%, 268 counts more. Honorable Chair and honorable members, in respect to this slide, is talking to the slide that will follow after. Here we are looking at the population of South Africa, in particular Gauteng, as compared to other provinces. As you can see from there, Gauteng, which is also covered in PC's page, it will remain the province which is mostly with the largest population. The reason for this slide is because when we compute the next slide, where we look in terms of the crime per capita, whereby we are zooming into the contact crime, this is whereby we are looking into where the unit of measure is a person. So obviously we will be looking into the contact crime that will be presented. This is whereby we are trying to make a comparison in terms of the other provinces, where we're looking into 100,000 population, how many people are mostly likely, or the probability of people being the victims of those specific crime out of 100,000 per population. So as I indicated, we are looking into the contact crime, which is murder, sexual offenses, attempted murder, assault with intent to inflict grievous bodily harm, common assault, common robbery, as well as robberies with aggravating circumstances. As we can see from the picture there, Honorable Chair, the only two offenses whereby the per capita have increased are only from our murder as well as attempted murder, whereas the other offenses within the contact crime, our per capita for those specific offenses have reduced. Sexual offenses 16.7 per 100,000. In terms of assault with intent to inflict grievous bodily harm is 57.9 per 100,000. In relation to a common assault is 82.6 per 100,000. Common robbery is 23.8 per 100,000. Robbery with aggravating circumstances is 77.9 per 100,000. When you look in terms of the Gauteng contribution towards the national figure, here it's spread accordingly with all other provinces because we share the national figure. But I will zoom only to Gauteng. Gauteng, we have increased, as I indicated, our overall contribution towards the national figure for this particular period. We have contributed 27.7% towards the national figure during the period under review. Just to give you a better perspective with regards to that contribution, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, when we look at the 5-year period in terms of the contribution of Gauteng towards the national figure, we can see that when we started monitoring this contribution in 2019, we're there standing at 28.2%. Honorable Chair, I have to conscientize this is not the changes in terms of the trend towards those specific crime. However, is the contribution that we made towards the national figure, not per se the percentage changes, the contribution that we make. Just to be clear on that, just to indicate on the bar chart there is the overall volumes that we have recorded for that particular year, for the 5-year period, and then the indicated percentage is the contribution that we made towards the national figure to throughout the 5-year period. We can see from the slide there that our contribution since 2019, it has since reducing up until now, where we are standing 27.7%, whereas we started with a 28.2%. When we take the 5-year period contribution in terms of the reduction, that we have reduced by exactly 1% towards the contribution towards the national figure, which is obviously it's somehow a coverage for us, because when you look in terms of the actual figures, it's above the 10,000 counts when you look in terms of the actual figures. Now, when you look at the month that's making up the quarter, starting with January, February, and March, towards the 17 communities, this is the overall crime in Gauteng. We have increased our 17 community reported throughout the 3 months of the quarter. January, our 17 community reported went up with 1,120. February, we increased by 275. March, 734 counts more. As a result, for quarter, we have increased. When you look at the district there, 3 of the 5 have increased. The increases were
Well, those are the stats of the fourth quarter of the financial year 2022 to 2023. An update on the crime stats coming out of Gauteng. Of course, this is following the crime stats that were released a bit earlier on by the Minister of Police. And now we are hearing from Gauteng as well when it comes to their breakdown of some of the crimes that have been reported in the province. An increase in kidnapping, 17.1%. She's a scary number. Also, the other side is looking at vigilantism, and there's been an increase there as well. And one of the points that has been raised before is that some community members have lost confidence in the police, and that's the reason why they've taken matters into their own hands. And General Mawela, they're speaking about an incident where 5 people were killed in a mob justice incident in Alberton.
Yeah, very concerning numbers, those, and of course encouraging South Africans to report crimes that we're able to at least keep track of what our police are able to do.